The Art of Easy Talk. Introduction. Have you ever been in a room with many people, like at a party, and didn't know what to say? Maybe you were in a quiet lift with someone and wished you could start a chat. Or perhaps meeting someone new makes you feel a little nervous. You are not the only one. Many of us feel a bit awkward and unsure when we want to talk to someone, but the words don't come easily. It can seem like some people are naturally good at talking, while others find it hard. But what if I told you that being good at friendly chats is not a special magic? What if it's like learning to ride a bike or play a simple song? The good news is it is. In this book, The Art of Easy Talk, will show you how to get better at it. Friendly chats, often called small talk, are more than just filling quiet time. They are like invisible threads that connect us. They help us meet new people and make our friendships stronger. Small talk helps us make new friends, talk to people at work, and make everyone feel more welcome. Being good at this can make you feel more sure of yourself, more comfortable in groups, and make life more fun. A nice chat can make your whole day better, right? This book is all about something we call the small talk skill. This skill means being able to have easy, friendly talks with others. It's knowing how to start talking, how to ask questions and share things to keep the talk going, and how to end the chat nicely. It's not about being the funniest person or knowing everything. It's about being friendly, showing you care about others, and making the talk nice for everyone. The small talk skill helps us build better friendships and makes talking feel smooth and good. As you read this book, you will get easy tips and ideas. You will learn how to start talking even if you feel shy. You will find simple ways to keep chats going in a natural way that everyone enjoys. And you will learn how to end a chat politely, leaving a good feeling. This book is like a helpful guide, showing you how to turn moments of doubt into chances to connect. So, are you ready to make talking with people feel easy and fun? Let's start this journey together. Turn the page and let's learn the art of easy talk. 1. Talking with friends and new people. The sounds of a coffee shop, the happy noise of a party, the quiet peace of a park bench, these are the places where our lives happen. And these are the places where talking easily is a special skill. It's not just about filling the quiet. It's about making links between people, sharing moments, and making every talk a small gift. It doesn't matter if you're talking to someone you've known for a long time or someone you just met. The best ways to talk are almost the same, but they also change a little, like the wind that turns. Let's start with the people we know the best, our friends. Talking with friends should be the easiest thing, and it often is. Friends feel comfortable. You share a past, so words come out more easily. But sometimes, even with your best friends, talks can become the same old thing. You might ask, "How was your day?" And hear, "Fine" or "busy." You talk about what happened on the outside, but do you really feel close? Talking easily with friends means looking a bit deeper. It means keeping the talk new and exciting even when you think you know everything about them. Think about a time you and a good friend were talking. Maybe you've talked about work many times. Instead of asking the usual question, try asking something that brings out a feeling or a memory. Instead of "busy day," try "what was the most interesting thing that happened at work today?" Or, if they talk about a problem, instead of just saying, "Oh, that's hard," you could ask, "What are you hoping to do about that?" This shows you're not just hearing their words, but you care about what they think and feel. You can also talk about things you remember together. A simple, "remember that time," we can bring back lots of laughter and make you feel close again. The important thing is to really listen. Lean in even if you've known them forever. Look them in the eye, nod your head, and give them your full attention. This shows them they are still important, and you still want to understand them. It's easy to think you know what your friends are thinking or feeling, but making the effort to ask and truly hear them keeps your bond strong and your talks alive. Now, let's think about a different kind of talk, the kind with someone new. This is where many people feel a little nervous, like they are going into the unknown. Starting a conversation with a stranger can seem like a big step. But the truth is, everyone has a story. Everyone likes a friendly face and a moment of connection. The small talk skill helps us do just that, turning possible awkwardness into a nice meeting. The first step with new people is to seem friendly. A warm smile and open body language go a long way. Then you need a way to begin. Where you are is your best helper. If you're at a town event, you could say, "This is a great gathering, isn't it? What brought you here today?" If you're waiting in a line, a simple comment like, "It's a very busy day, isn't it? I hope this line moves fast," can be a gentle way to start. These aren't deep thoughts, but they are friendly ways to invite someone to talk. Let's picture Sarah at a local craft show. She sees a woman looking at a handmade scarf. Sarah could walk over and say, "That scarf is beautiful. The colors are so bright." The woman might say, "Yes, I love the blues in it." Now, Sarah has a good chance to ask a question that needs more than a yes or no answer. She could ask, "What do you look for when you pick out something like this?" This question asks about what the woman likes, her taste, and her thoughts. It moves the talk from just the scarf to sharing an interest in crafts and beauty. The power of questions, as we've talked about, is huge, whether you're talking to a friend or a stranger. Questions are what keep conversations going. Think of it like a gentle dance. You ask, they answer, and then you ask another question based on their answer. This is the main way to keep the talk moving. There are two main kinds of questions: closed questions and open questions. A closed question usually gets a yes or no answer or a very short reply. For example, "Did you like the movie?" The answer will likely be just yes or no. An open question, however, makes the other person want to give a longer answer. Instead of "Did you like the movie?" you could ask, "What did you think of the movie?" Or "What was your favorite part of the movie?" When talking to new people, open questions are your best friends. They invite the other person to share a little about themselves, their ideas, and their experiences. This is very helpful for building a connection. If you're at a work event, instead of asking, "Do you work in sales?" you could ask, "What kind of work do you do?" Or "What's the most interesting part of your job?" This gives them a chance to tell you what they are excited about. Let's go back to Sarah at the craft show. The woman says she is looking for a gift for her sister. Sarah could follow up by saying, "Oh, that's kind. What kind of things does your sister like?" This lets the woman share details about her sister's interests, and maybe Sarah can even give an idea or share something she's experienced. Each open question is like opening a small door, inviting the other person to share a part of their world. The more we practice asking these kinds of questions, the more natural it becomes, and the more we learn about the interesting people around us. This idea of asking more questions is a main part of the small talk skill, because it shows you are truly interested and gives you something to keep a pleasant talk going. But what happens after you ask a question and get an answer? This is where really listening comes in, and it's truly the secret star of easy talk. It's not enough to just ask questions. You must also be there to hear the answers. Really listening means more than just not interrupting. It means showing the other person that you are truly paying attention and that their words are important. How do we practice really listening? It starts with your body. Look them in the eye, but don't stare too hard. Nod your head to show you are following. Lean in a little. These small body signs send a strong message. I am listening. Beyond that, try to understand what the other person is saying. Sometimes, it helps to repeat what they said in your own words. For example, if someone tells you about a difficult project they are working on, you could say, "So, if I understand right, you have a tight deadline and some unexpected problems with the technology. That sounds very hard. This not only shows you heard them, but also gives them a chance to correct you if you misunderstood. Asking questions to get more information is also a way of really listening. If they mention a specific tool or word you don't know, a simple, "Could you tell me more about that?" shows you want to learn and understand. Really listening is very important because it gives you natural ideas for what to say next. When you truly listen to someone's answer, you will hear small details that lead to new questions, making the conversation flow smoothly, just as the meaning of the small talk skill suggests. Finally, let's talk about leaving a conversation well. Knowing how to end a talk politely and naturally is just as important as knowing how to start one. Awkward goodbyes can leave everyone feeling a little uncomfortable. The goal is to end in a way that leaves a good feeling. This is true for friends and new people alike. With a friend, you might say, "It was so nice catching up. I should go now, but let's plan to do this again soon." Or, if you are enjoying the talk but need to leave, "I'm having such a good time talking, but I do need to go. We'll have to finish this conversation another time." With someone new, you can use similar phrases. If you've been talking to someone at an event and need to move around, you could say, "It was wonderful meeting you. I think I'll go say hello to a few other people, but it was a pleasure talking." Or, if the talk has naturally come to an end, you can say, "Well, it was great talking with you. Have a good rest of your evening." The key is to be polite, clear, and to say something nice at the end, making the interaction feel good. This makes sure the conversation ends on a good note, leaving both people feeling happy about the meeting. So, what are the main differences when talking to a close friend compared to someone you just met? The main small talk skill, the ability to have light, friendly talks, to start, continue, and end them smoothly, stays the same. The difference is in how much you already know about each other and how much you might naturally share. With a friend, you can often talk about deeper feelings or shared history because you trust and understand each other. You might ask, "How are you really doing?" knowing you'll get a true answer. With someone new, you start more gently by noticing things around you. You begin with the place you are or general interests. The questions are made to invite them to share a little about themselves, but without asking for too much too soon. The change comes in what you talk about and how fast you build a connection. You might use the same skill of asking an open question, but the topic of that question will be different. For a friend, it might be about something you both care about. For a new person, it might be about their experience at the event. Both situations need real curiosity and good listening, but where you start and how much you assume you know about them changes the details of the talk. Beyond simple, polite words, what kinds of open questions work best to truly connect with both friends and new people? And how can you find chances to ask them naturally? For friends, questions that explore their hopes, challenges, or thoughts are powerful. Instead of "How was your weekend?" try "What was the best part of your weekend?" Or "Did anything surprise you this weekend?" If they mention a goal, ask, "What's one small step you plan to take toward that goal this week?" This shows you care about their journey. For new people, questions that relate to where you are and ask for opinions are great. If you're at a conference, what talk are you most looking forward to? Or what has been the most interesting thing you've learned so far? If you're at a party, how do you know the host? Or have you tried the specific food? What do you think? The chance to ask these questions comes naturally from being in the same place and noticing things together. It's about looking around, listening to what others say, and finding something you have in common or are curious about. If someone is wearing a t-shirt of a band you like, that's a chance to ask, "Oh, I love that band. What's your favorite album by them?" If you're both looking at a piece of art, What does this make you feel? The key is to notice things and let your real interest guide you. These questions aren't about questioning someone. They're about opening a door to a shared moment of talking, making the small talk skill a tool for building real connections, one question at a time. Now that we've explored how to start, continue, and end conversations with people we know and people we don't know, we understand that the real magic of easy talk isn't just in the words we pick, but in the care and awareness we bring to each talk. The next step is to improve this awareness by understanding the hidden signals that shape our conversations and how to respond to them with confidence and kindness. 2. Starting and keeping a conversation going. The special way we talk with others, to really feel close, often starts with a simple step, beginning the talk and then keeping it going. It might feel like a big wall to climb, especially if you feel a little shy or not sure what to do. But think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, it feels shaky, but with a little practice and the right ways, you find your balance and start moving easily. That's exactly what we will learn here, how to get friendly chat started and how to keep them flowing in a way that feels good for everyone. At its heart, the small talk skill is about building a bridge between you and another person. It's this ability to have light, friendly talks, knowing what to say to begin, how to ask questions and share things to keep the talk going, and how to end it all nicely and naturally. This skill truly helps people feel more at ease and connected. When we talk about starting a chat, we are really talking about the first few steps on the bridge. These first moments are very important because they set how everything else will go. A warm, welcoming start can make a big difference, turning a quiet moment into a pleasant talk. So, how do we begin? The best way is often by talking about where you are together. It's like pointing out something you both can see or experience. Imagine you are at a garden party and the sun is shining brightly. Instead of just standing there, you could turn to someone near you and say, "Isn't this sunshine nice today? It really makes all these flowers look bright, doesn't it?" This is a gentle way to start. It's not too private, it's happy, and it's something you both are feeling right now. It naturally makes the other person want to answer. They can agree, share their own thought about the weather, or talk about a certain flower. Another simple way to start could be about something you both might be doing. If you are in a coffee shop and see someone reading a book, a friendly, curious question like, "That book looks interesting, what's it about?" can start a talk. It shows you notice things and are truly curious, which are great qualities in any conversation. The main thing here is to keep it light and easy. We want to invite people to talk, not make them feel uncomfortable. Avoid subjects that might be too sensitive or need deep personal sharing right away, like asking about someone's job or their biggest worries. The aim is to create a comfortable space, a friendly feeling where both people feel safe to share. Now, let's think about what happens after that first hello. The talk has started, but how do we stop it from feeling like a quick, polite nod before moving on? This is where truly listening and responding well becomes very important. Many people think that keeping a conversation going is all about having clever things to say. While that's good, it's often more important to be a good listener. Listening well means you are not just waiting for your turn to speak. You are truly paying attention to what the other person is saying. You can show this by looking at them kindly, nodding when they make a point, and using small sounds like, "Aha, I see," or "Wow." These small signs tell the speaker, "I am with you and I'm interested." But listening well is more than just hearing the words. It's about understanding what they mean and how they feel, and then using that understanding to keep the talk going. When someone shares something with you, your reply is like a gentle push, encouraging them to share a little more. For example, If someone you just met says they recently went on a walk in nature, you don't just say, "Oh, nice." Instead, you can use their words as a starting point for your own. You might ask, "Oh, a walk sounds wonderful. Where did you go? Was it a hard path or more of an easy walk?" Or maybe, "That's great. What was your favorite part of the walk?" These questions show you heard them and are curious about what they did. The way you ask is important. It's not like an interview, it's a shared discovery. You are not just collecting facts, you are building a connection. This leads us right to one of the most helpful tools in our talking kit, asking questions that need more than a yes or no answer. You see, many questions can be answered with a simple yes or no. For instance, "Did you like the party?" often gets a yes. And that's where the talk can sadly end. It's like reaching a wall. However, if you change that question just a little to "What did you think of the party?" or "What was your favorite part of the party?" you have opened the door wide. The other person now has to think a bit, share an opinion, remember a specific moment, or describe a feeling. These kinds of questions, often starting with what, how, why, or tell me about, invite stories and details. They encourage the other person to open up, to share a bit more of their life with you. Let's think about how to change those simple yes or no questions. If someone says, "I'm tired," a short question might be, "Are you very tired?" A way to get more information would be, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What has been keeping you busy today?" This invites them to share the reason for their tiredness, which can lead to a much more interesting talk about their day, their work, or what they've been doing. In the same way, instead of asking, "Do you like gardening?" you could ask, "What do you enjoy most about gardening?" Or "How did you first start gardening?" These questions don't just ask for a preference. They ask for a story, a passion, a personal connection. They show a deeper level of interest and respect for what the other person has experienced. But remember, talking is like a dance, a give and take. It's not just about asking questions. Once someone has shared something with you, it's your turn to share back. This is the sharing part of the small talk skill. After they answer your question, it's natural and very effective to share a related thought or experience of your own. This creates balance and shows you are not just asking them things, but are also willing to be part of the exchange. For example, if your new friend tells you they love walking in nature and their favorite path is a challenging one with great views, you can reply by saying, "That sounds absolutely amazing. I've been wanting to explore more of our local paths myself. My last walk was a few months ago and it was a much easier path, but the fresh air was just what I needed." By sharing this, you have done a few important things. First, you have shown you understand their experience that sounds absolutely amazing. Second, you have shown a shared interest I've been wanting to explore more. And third, you have offered a little piece of your own experience, creating a point to connect. This sharing doesn't have to be a long, detailed story. It can be a short, fitting comment that shows you are part of the conversation. It's about building on what they've said, showing you are not just listening, but are an active part of the exchange. This sharing back and forth is what makes conversations feel less like an interview and more like a real connection. To keep the energy going, we also need to become good at finding shared interests and following the flow of the conversation. Think of a conversation like following a winding path. You start at one point, and as you talk, you find little side paths, interesting spots, and new directions. The key is to notice and pay attention to these chances. Listen for important words, repeating ideas, or shared opinions. If someone mentions they like to cook and you also like to cook, that's a clear path to follow. You could then ask, "Oh, I love to cook too. What's your favorite dish when you want something comforting?" Or do you have any favorite types of food you like to try? This ability to find and follow shared interests is a main part of the small talk skill. It's about noticing shared interests, experiences, or even things you both see. It could be something as simple as both of you seeing the same unusual bird in a tree, or both having a similar feeling about something happening in the area. When you find these shared points, you can explore them more. This makes the connection stronger because it shows that you are not so different after all. It makes the other person feel understood and valued, which, in turn, makes them more likely to keep sharing. It's like finding someone who understands you in a casual chat. Now, let's look a bit closer at some of the main reasons why starting and keeping conversations can feel hard for many people. One of the biggest mental blocks is the fear of being judged. We worry that we'll say something silly, boring, or wrong, and that the other person will think less of us. This fear can stop us, making us want to hide in silence. The ways we have talked about, starting with simple, shared observations, asking questions that need more than yes or no, and listening well, directly fight this fear. By focusing on the other person and what you both are experiencing, we take the pressure off ourselves to be witty or smart. The goal is not to impress, but to connect. When you shift your focus from how you are doing to genuine interest in the other person, the fear often starts to go away. Another common problem is feeling like you don't know what to say next. This is where the idea of following threads becomes so important. If you have truly listened to what the other person has said, there will almost always be something to pick up on. Did they mention their pet? Ask about the pet. Did they talk about a recent trip? Ask for a highlight. Did they express a feeling about something? Acknowledge that feeling and ask for more details. It's about seeing each statement as a chance to explore more, rather than a sign that the conversation is over. The detail of listening well is key here. It's not just about hearing words, it's about noticing the feelings, interests, and experiences the speaker is sharing. When you truly make someone feel heard, they feel more comfortable sharing, and that naturally keeps the conversation going. For example, if someone says they had a tough day at work, just saying that's too bad is polite, but doesn't invite more. A more detailed reply might be, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like it was a really hard day. What made it especially difficult?" This shows you care and invites them to share more, making them feel truly understood. Let's put this all together with a little example. Imagine Sarah is at a neighborhood party. She sees Mark, someone she's seen around but never really talks to. She feels that familiar nervous feeling. She takes a deep breath and remembers the advice. Instead of just nodding, she walks over and says, with a warm smile, "Hi Mark. This is such a lovely party, isn't it? The food smells amazing." Mark smiles back and says, "It really is. I'm glad I came. I just tried the potato salad. It's fantastic." Sarah hears the words potato salad and the idea of trying new food. So she asks, "Oh, I haven't tried that one yet. Is it your favorite so far?" Mark laughs a little. "It's close. My wife made a great one last week, though. She's a really good cook." Now, Sarah has a new path to follow, Mark's wife and her cooking. She could let it go or she can follow it. She chooses to follow. "Oh, that's wonderful. It's great to have someone in the house who loves to cook. What kind of things does she usually make?" Mark's face brightens a little. "She's amazing with Italian food, especially pasta dishes. And she makes a killer apple pie." Sarah sees a chance to share a little about herself and connect. "Italian food, wow. I've always wanted to get better at making homemade pasta. My attempts usually end up a bit sticky," she says with a light laugh. This self-mocking humor is relatable and shows she's not perfect. 3. What to talk about and asking questions. Sometimes, when you are with someone new or someone you don't know very well, a quiet moment can feel a bit empty. You want to say something to make it feel friendly, but the words don't come easily. This is normal, and many people wish it was simpler to start talking. The good news is that talking is a skill, and like any skill, you can learn and get better at it. Knowing what to talk about and how to ask good questions will be a big help. Think of small talk as a bridge. You need things to build this bridge, and those things are the topics you can discuss. We all have a safe zone for talking, a group of subjects that most people are happy to chat about, without feeling awkward. These are good places to start, like a friendly hello and a conversation. One very common and useful topic is the weather. It might seem simple, but everyone experiences it. You can talk about if it's sunny, rainy, cold, or warm. You can mention how it changes your day or what weather you hope for. For example, you could say, "It's a beautiful day today, isn't it? Perfect for being outside." Or, if it's raining, "I like this rain. It makes it feel cozy inside." This isn't about knowing a lot about the weather, it's about finding something you both share to connect over. Current events can also be good, but it's best to keep them light. Think about local events, a new movie everyone is talking about, or a community gathering. Avoid things that might cause arguments or upset people, like politics or very serious news. A safe idea is, "Did you hear about the new art show downtown? I'm thinking of going this weekend." This gives the other person a chance to share their thoughts or plans. Hobbies and interests are great ways to start conversations because they show what people like. Most people have something they enjoy doing in their free time. If you see someone wearing a shirt from a band you like, or carrying a bag from a bookstore you visit, that's a perfect opening. "Oh, I love that band. Have you seen them play live?" Or, "I've wanted to go to that bookstore. Do you have any favorite authors you found there?" If you don't see a clue, you can ask in a general way, "What do you enjoy doing when you have free time?" This question invites them to share something they care about. Food and drink are another subject that most people enjoy. You can talk about a good restaurant you visited, a recipe you want to try, or even just what you're planning to eat for dinner. "I had amazing pasta last night. Have you tried that new Italian place on Elm Street?" Or, "I'm looking for a good chocolate chip cookie recipe. Do you have a favorite?" Travel, even if it's just exploring nearby, can lead to good conversations. People like to talk about where they've been or where they want to go. Have you taken any interesting trips lately, even just for a day? Or, "I'm planning a short trip soon. Do you have any ideas for places to visit around here?" And don't forget shared experiences. If you are at a party, a meeting, or even waiting in line, you are sharing that time. You can comment on the atmosphere, the food, or the speaker. "There are a lot of people here, aren't there?" Or, "What did you think when the speaker said?" These are all easy, low-pressure ways to start a chat. These safe zone topics are like a friendly first handshake in conversation. They are comfortable, familiar, and usually well received. But remember, they are just the beginning. The real interest comes when you use these topics to learn more about the other person and build a real connection. This is where asking good questions becomes very important. One of the most helpful tools in your small talk kit is the open-ended question. This is a question that needs more than a simple yes or no answer. It encourages the other person to share more, explain more, and tell a little story. This is how you move from just polite greetings to having a real conversation. Let's see the difference. Imagine you were talking to someone after a busy weekend. A simple question might be, "Did you have a good weekend?" The answer will likely be a quick yes, "It was good," or "No, it was busy." and then the conversation can stop. Now, try an open-ended question. What was the best part of your weekend? Or what did you do over the weekend? These questions encourage the other person to share a specific event, a feeling, or an activity. They might say, "The best part was seeing my old friends. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and we talked for hours." Or, "I spent most of Saturday working in my garden. I finally planted those new roses I bought." See how much more information and chances for more talk these answers give. The key is to use words that ask for a longer answer. What, how, why, tell me about, describe. For example, instead of asking, "Are you enjoying this event?" try, "What do you think of the event so far?" Or, "How are you finding the talks today?" Instead of asking, "Do you like your job?" try, "What do you enjoy most about your work?" Or, "What made you choose your current job?" The reason open-ended questions work so well is that they show you really want to hear more. They give the other person space to share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This makes them feel heard and valued, which is a main part of small talk. It's not just about filling silence. It's about creating a connection. Beyond having a list of questions, you can become good at turning what you see into questions. This is where you use your surroundings and what is happening right now as a way to start talking. It makes your conversation feel natural and shows you are paying attention. Let's say you are at a coffee shop, and the person next to you is reading a book with a very interesting cover. Instead of just looking, you can use that to start a chat. A simple, "That looks like an interesting book. What is it about?" can lead to a good discussion about books, types of stories, or even the writer. Or, imagine you are at a party and you notice someone wearing a unique piece of jewelry. You could say, "That's a beautiful necklace. Is there a story behind it?" People often like to share where things come from, especially if they have special meaning. Even something as simple as the place you are in can start a question. If you are in a park and see a beautiful tree, you might ask, "Isn't this park lovely? I've never noticed that big old tree before. I wonder how old it is." The good thing about this approach is that it feels natural. You are not making up topics. You are responding to what is around you. It shows you are present and observant, which are great qualities that attract people. It also gives the other person an easy way to answer, as they are talking about something right there with you. This leads us to an important part of developing your small talk skill, using your curiosity compass to find common ground. The main goal of small talk is not just to talk for the sake of talking. It is about finding those little sparks of connection, those shared interests or experiences that make people feel more comfortable and closer to each other. Your questions should aim to discover these shared points. How do you do this? By listening. Really listening. When the other person answers your question, don't just wait for your turn to speak. Listen to what they say and let their words guide your next question. If they mention they love hiking, you can follow up with, "Oh, hiking. That sounds great. Are there any trails you particularly like around here?" If they talk about a concert they went to, you could ask, "Who did you see?" I love live music. This active listening helps you pick up on clues. You might find out that you both like the same kind of music, have visited the same city, or have a similar pet. These shared interests are the threads that create a stronger conversation. When you find common ground, the conversation naturally becomes more interesting and personal, while still staying light and friendly. It builds a connection, creating a sense of we instead of just you and me. Now, let's look closer at how to make this feel natural and not like an interrogation. It's a common worry. How can someone go from simple, short questions to more interesting, open-ended ones without sounding like they are questioning someone too much? The trick is in your tone and what you say next. First, your tone of voice is very important. When you ask an open-ended question, Let your voice sound truly curious and friendly, not demanding. A soft, kind tone makes the question feel like an invitation. Smile, make eye contact if you feel comfortable, and lean in a little to show you are paying attention. Second, it's about the flow. You don't need to ask a series of deep questions all at once. Start with a simple observation or a light topic, and then move naturally. For example, you might start with the weather. It's quite cold today, isn't it? If they agree, you can then switch. It makes me want to curl up with a good book. Have you read anything interesting lately? This feels much more natural than immediately asking, "What are your thoughts on the meaning of life?" Another way is to share a little about yourself first. This makes it a two-way conversation. If you ask, "What do you enjoy doing on weekends?" and they reply, "I love going to farmers markets," you can then add, "Oh, I do too. I especially love the one at the town square on Saturdays. I always find the freshest tomatoes there. Do you have a favorite market or something special you like to buy?" By sharing your own enjoyment and a specific detail, your question feels less like an interrogation and more like sharing. And enthusiasm. The key is to be a conversation partner, not an interviewer. Think of it like a dance. You ask a question, they answer, you respond to their answer with a comment or another question, and they do the same. It's a back and forth, a shared exploration. If you ask an open-ended question and get a short answer, that's okay. You can then use your observation skills or another safe zone topic to keep things going. Sometimes, people are just not in the mood to talk a lot, and that's fine too. The goal is not to force conversation, but to make it easy and enjoyable when it happens. This brings us to the subtle skill of reading the situation and the person you are talking to. What are the small signs to look for in a conversation that show it's time to change topics, or to ask a more personal but still appropriate question? This is where social awareness comes in, and it gets better with practice. One of the most important signs is engagement. Is the other person leaning in? Are they making eye contact? Are their answers enthusiastic and detailed? Or are they short and they look away? If they seem engaged and are giving longer, more detailed answers, it's a good sign that they are comfortable and you can continue to explore the topic or ask slightly more involved questions. On the other hand, if they start giving one-word answers, their eyes look around, or they seem to be looking. 4. Ending a conversation nicely. So, you know how to start a chat and keep it going. That's great. But did you know that how you end a talk is just as important? Think about it. You can have a wonderful chat, full of laughs and good ideas, but if it ends suddenly or badly, that good feeling can go away. It's like finishing a lovely song and then someone slams a door. That doesn't feel good, does it? Knowing how to end a chat well means you end it in a nice way. This makes people feel good about talking to you. It also makes them want to talk to you again. A few years ago, I was at a town event. I started talking to a woman named Clara. She was interesting, and we talked about plants, which I love. We shared tips about growing tomatoes. I was excited about her ideas. I had to catch a train. Instead of saying I had to go, I just kept talking, hoping she would understand. Finally, I looked at my watch and saw I would miss my train. I just blurted out, "Oh, I have to go," and rushed away. Clara looked surprised. I felt bad later. I didn't mean to be rude, but my bad ending ruined our nice chat. A few weeks later, I saw Clara at another event. I was nervous, thinking she might still be mad. But this time, I remembered my mistake. When we started talking, and I saw it was time for me to leave, I used what I learned. I smiled and said, "Clara, it's been so nice talking about our plants again. I'm so glad we met. I do need to leave soon, though, as I have a meeting I can't be late for. But I'd love to hear how your tomato plants do later in the year." She smiled back and her face was friendly. Of course. That small change made a big difference. It ended the talk kindly, showed I liked our chat, and made her feel our talk was important. It also made me feel better. This is why gentle exit signals are important. These are like little bridges that help you leave a chat smoothly. No one feels pushed away. They are words that show the talk is naturally ending. One of the easiest and kindest ways to start ending a talk is to say things like, "Well, it was lovely chatting with you," or "It's been so nice meeting you." These are like a warm handshake at the end of a visit. They show you liked the talk and are thankful. Adding "It was so nice talking about" topic makes it more personal and shows you listened. For example, after talking about a book, you could say, "Well, it was lovely chatting with you about that book. I'm going to have to get it now." Another good gentle exit signal is to mention something you need to do next. This is not an excuse, it's just saying you have something else to do. Phrases like, "I should probably get back to work now," or "I need to catch my train," or "I promised I'd call my daughter by 5, are clear and polite. They give a reason to end the talk that isn't about the talk being bad. It's about your schedule. It's important to say these things in a friendly way, not like you're trying to escape. Imagine you're at a party and see a friend who needs to leave soon. You wouldn't keep them talking for a long time, would you? You would understand they have other things to do. Sometimes, a good way to end is to say what you learned from the talk. This shows you understood and liked what was said. For instance, if you've been thinking of ideas with someone, you could say, "So, it sounds like we both agree that the best way is X, and we'll look into Y." That's great. This ends the talk nicely and shows you both agree. It's like saying, "We had a good talk, and here's what we decided." But it's not just about the words. Your body also sends messages. How you stand and move can be just as important as your words in showing it's time to end a chat. These body signals can make the ending feel even more natural. Think about how you stand when you're talking to someone. You usually face them directly. When you start to signal you need to leave, you might move your weight from one foot to the other. This small move can show you're ready to move on. You might also start to turn your body a little. This isn't a sharp turn, but a gentle angle of your shoulders and feet towards where you need to go, whether that's the door, your car, or another person. This is a sign that your focus is starting to change. Looking the person in the eye is important during a talk, but it's even more important when you're ending it. As you say your closing words, look the person in the eye and give a real smile. This shows you are warm and honest. It shows you liked talking to them and that you're not leaving because you dislike them. A smile can make any awkwardness feel better and leave a good memory. If you're holding a bag or a cup, you might start to gather your things. This is a practical signal that you're getting ready to leave. It's a clear sign that your time is almost up. Now, let's think about different situations. Not all talks end the same way, and how you end should fit the situation. What if you need to leave very quickly? Maybe you're very late for an important meeting, or there's an emergency. In these cases, you need to be direct, but still polite. You can say something like, "I am so sorry, but I've just realized I'm incredibly late for my next appointment. I have to dash off right now. It was wonderful talking to you, and I'm so sorry to cut this short." The key here is to say you're sorry for leaving so fast, but that you really have to go. Your tone should show you regret leaving suddenly, not that you're happy the talk is over. Then there are times when the talk has naturally come to an end. You've talked about the main things, the energy is going down, and there's a comfortable quiet. This is the perfect time for a nice wrap-up. You don't need to force more talk. This is where those lovely chatting phrases are useful. You can also say something like, "Well, I've really enjoyed this chat. I should let you get on with your day now." This also gives the other person a way to agree that it's a good time to end. Sometimes, you might want to talk again later. This is where small talk skill can help you make new friends. Instead of just saying goodbye, you can suggest meeting again. For example, if you've been talking about something you both like, you could say, "This has been so interesting. We should definitely talk more about this sometime. Maybe we could get a coffee next week?" Or if you've shared contact details, you might say, "I'll send you that article we talked about later today," or "Let's connect on social media platform so we can keep in touch about topic." This turns the ending from a stop into a beginning. What happens to people's feelings when a talk ends badly or very smoothly? When a talk ends badly, the person who ended it badly might feel embarrassed or guilty. They might think about it later, wishing they had said or done something else. The person being left might feel confused, rejected, or even a little hurt, especially if they were enjoying the talk. They might wonder what they did wrong. This can create a bad feeling about the talk, making them less likely to talk to that person again. On the other hand, a smooth, polite ending makes people feel good. The person leaving feels confident and in control, knowing they handled it well. They feel good about themselves for managing the talk well. The person being left feels respected and valued. They appreciate the other person's kindness and the nice way the talk ended. This good feeling makes them feel good about the talk and more open to talking again. They remember the good feeling, not the sudden end. How can the ending of a talk be designed to encourage future talks, rather than just stopping the current one? This is where small talk skill really stands out. It's about ending in a smart way. Instead of just saying goodbye, you can create a reason for the future. This could be by mentioning something you both like that you want to talk about more, a problem you want to solve together, or an event you might both go to. For example, if you learn your chat partner is going to a conference you're also going to, you can say, "Oh, you're going to the tech summit too? We should definitely meet up there and talk more about that project idea." This creates a specific reason and a planned time for future talks. Another way is to offer something useful that you can follow up on. This could be sharing an article, a book suggestion, or even an idea that came up during your talk. "I'm going to send you that link we discussed about gardening" is a simple promise that needs a follow-up, naturally leading to a brief future chat. It's not about making big promises, but about creating small, real chances to connect again. The goal is to leave the other person with a good impression and a simple, natural reason to talk to you again. It's like planting a seed for a future friendly chat. Let's talk about common mistakes to avoid. One of the biggest is leaving suddenly. This is what I did with Claude at first. Just stopping mid-sentence or rushing away without a word can seem very rude. Another mistake is talking too long. You might be having a great time, but the other person might feel stuck or tired. It's important to watch for their signals. Are they starting to look around? Are they giving shorter answers? These are signs that they might be ready to finish. Making promises you don't intend to keep is also a mistake. Saying we should definitely get lunch sometime when you have no plan to do it can be misleading. It's better to be honest and say something like, "It was so great talking to you. I hope we meet again." If you don't see a clear chance to meet again, real connection comes from honesty, even in small talk. So to put it simply, ending a talk nicely is a skill you can learn and practice. It's about thinking about the other person, using kind words and body signals, and changing your approach for different situations. When you get good at this, you're not just ending a talk. You're building bridges, creating goodwill, and making every interaction a step towards stronger, more comfortable connections. Just like a musician knows when to end a song in a satisfying way, knowing how to end conversations smoothly makes sure that every talk leaves a good feeling. This ability to end smoothly not only makes our connections stronger, but also prepares us for the next step, having deeper talks, and building more meaningful relationships. Conclusion: you have finished The Art of Easy Talk. Great job! Remember when you first started this book? Maybe talking easily seemed hard. Or maybe you just wanted to feel better when meeting people. This book showed you that easy talking is not magic. It is a skill like learning to ride a bike. You can learn and get better at it. We learned how to start talking to people with confidence. We learned how to keep talking by being truly interested. And we learned how to finish talks in a nice way. All these things help you build your small talk skill. The main thing to remember is, you can talk more easily and be more interesting to others. The tips in this book are not secrets. They are simple ways to talk. With practice, they will become natural. This will make your small talk skill better. As you get better at small talk skill, you will see good things happen. Those quiet moments will become chances to connect. It will be easier to make friends with new people. You can make your friendships with old friends stronger. And you can handle work talks more easily. This is not just about talking. It's about building bridges between people. The art of easy talk is about making talking fun. It's fun for others and it's fun for you too. When you have a good small talk skill, you can relax. You can be there in the moment. You can really listen. You won't feel like you always need to say the perfect thing. Instead, you will know you have ways to keep the talk going. Think about times you talk every day. A quick chat with someone at a store, talking at a work event, catching up with a neighbor, or talking with family. Each of these is a chance to use and improve your small talk skill. The more you use it, the easier and more enjoyable it becomes. It is important to remember this is a skill. Like learning to play music, it takes practice. Sometimes a talk might not go as you hoped. That is okay. These moments are not mistakes. They are chances to learn and get better. They help you improve your small talk skill. So, what should you do now? The most important thing is to start practicing. Don't wait for the perfect time. Look for small chances today. Start a short talk with someone you see. Use one of the ways to start a talk that we learned. Ask a simple question that needs more than a yes or no answer. This is where your small talk skill comes to life. Be brave and try new things. Try different questions. Listen carefully to what people say. See how they answer. Find what feels right for you. Your small talk skill is special to you. Find the ways that work best for you. Remember, the goal is to get better, not to be perfect. Not every talk will be amazing. That is part of it. Some talks will be short. Some might feel a little awkward. That is part of learning. Every talk is a chance to make your small talk skill better. Think of this book as a start, not an end. Keep being curious about people. Read, watch others, and think about your own talks. The more you connect with the world, the better your small talk skill will be. At its heart, the art of easy talk is about connecting with people. It's about knowing that even though we are different, we all want to be heard. We want to be understood. We want to connect with others. Your growing small talk skill is your way to make these important connections. When you start, continue, and end your talks with confidence, you are not just filling quiet times. You are creating moments where people feel connected. You are making the world a friendlier place, one talk at a time. So go and talk. Take chances. Learn from every talk. Enjoy getting better at your small talk skill. You can now easily talk with people. May your talks be many, enjoyable, and help you connect deeply with others.